Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at a case where police officers attacked and arrested an innocent man just because he was wearing a hoodie, walking in public, and recording a police car. On June 29, 2023, an auditor was walking home from the grocery store when he noticed several police cars at the end of his street. Out of curiosity and concern for his neighborhood, he went closer to inspect and also started recording. His aim was to simply exercise his right to freely walk around in public and record whatever was visible to the public eye. None of his actions were illegal in any way, but things quickly changed when he was suddenly confronted by several police officers with the Hollywood Police Department who wanted to violate his constitutional rights in a violent and ignorant manner. This encounter was captured on the auditor's camera, as well as one of the officer's body cams. We're about to watch how everything was going just fine until the auditor pointed his camera at a police car. Also note that the timestamp on the auditor's footage is not accurate.
Two, 112. Two to 104. The server's broken. What do you guys want? Am I breaking a law here?
What are you doing?
Am I breaking a law? Don't touch me.
No.
Don't touch me.
I'm patting you down. You're
Don't
just
touch me.
You're just looking
Don't touch me.
I'm patting you down.
Don't be quiet, guys. Alright.
Down. You're looking inside of our car.
Oh, big fucking deal. I can look inside your car.
You're gonna hurt me?
Yes.
Roll out. Pull over. Sit up. Sit up.
Let me go. Did I do anything wrong? I can get up on my own. I'm an adult.
Yes.
Holy.
Stand right here.
As seen in the footage, just 1 minute into walking around while recording, the auditor was essentially jumped by a few officers in a very escalated and confrontational manner. Immediately after this, one of the officers ordered him to stop where he was and put his hands up in the air. Then, without warning, they all surrounded him and started to reach for his pockets, claiming that they were simply patting him down. And before we know it, he was assaulted and thrown to the ground for nothing. Now it's extremely important to take some time and understand what the law says about recording in public. First and foremost, taking photographs and videos of things that are plainly visible in public spaces is a constitutional right, and that includes transportation facilities, the outside of federal buildings, and police and other government officials carrying out their duties. On top of this, case law from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, which presides over Florida, has also clearly held that individuals have a First Amendment right, subject to reasonable time, manner, and place restrictions, to photograph or videotape police conduct. It also held that individuals have the right to gather information about what public officials do on public property, and specifically, a right to record matters of public interest. Importantly, this right has been upheld by the court in instances where an individual was recording police activity during a protest. These two elements prove that the auditor had every right to do what he was doing. Lastly, according to Section 776.05 of the Florida statutes, it stated that the officer is justified in the use of any force which he or she reasonably believes to be necessary to defend himself or herself or another from bodily harm while making an arrest. Now, this proves that the use of force was completely unjustified, also as the auditor was undoubtedly not posing a threat to anyone.
Sit up. We're investigating a crime.
Oh, what crime are we investigating?
We're in a high crime area. People go through cars all the time. You're walking through with a mask on, looking through cars.
Well, am I trying to take your DVD player?
That's reasonable suspicion. Okay? That's what we're doing.
You guys all got your body cameras on?
Yep, we just.
All right, beautiful.
Yep, there we go. We
Yeah,
just
get
turned
them
them
on. Let's go.
Come here, what's your name?
Oh, that's my name.
Okay.
Ask
Here's
your
the
mom
deal.
what my name
Listen,
is, dipshit.
I know what you think you're doing. You think you're trying to like stir us up. That's not what's happening.
What the f is happening, dipshit?
I told you we're in a high crime
Stir
area.
you
I'm
up.
investigating crime. I'm investigating a crime. It's simple.
I'm investigating a lawsuit right now. That's what I'm
You
investigating.
can do that all you want, but I'm telling you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Holy
gonna-
shit. 4 of you guys want to get involved in this?
Are you gonna?
We're all gonna go down this road?
Yep. If it's really
Continue,
simple.
please,
Yeah.
dipshit.
I'm
I can't. I'd love to hear it. Can I get up now?
Are you gonna? No.
Am I still being pinned down here?
Are we
So he
holding
patted
on?
me down. What do I got on me? That he patted me down. Now,
Nothing, we don't
now
know
you're
that.
still.
Okay.
I'm still a
This is how
threat
this
to
is
you.
gonna go. You're either gonna explain this. You're either gonna identify yourself. We're gonna write our report.
I'm curious to what was going on. Domestic disturbance. You
No,
should have
we're
kept
in
your
a high
computer
crime-
up.
We're in a high,
You
we're in a
idiot.
we're in a high crime area. You're looking through vehicles with a mask on.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
reasonable suspicion.
Oh my gosh.
Simple. I told you this twice
Real
now.
suspicion of what? Do I get
Yeah.
tools to break
Yeah.
into cars?
We don't know that. And then you start. Okay.
Probable cause?
Okay. Here's the deal.
What a
Either
f***ing
you're gonna
idiot.
do this-
You're still going with
either-
this
yeah,
investigation.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Either you're gonna do it.
All
or
right. Can I get up?
No.
All right.
Are you gonna identify yourself? This is really simple.
No, absolutely not.
Then
You.
You understand? You're
What's your
gonna
name, badge
go.
number?
Ben and Casa 3711.
Name, badge number. Come on, let's get it for the record. On the cameras.
Yeah, let's go. Are you gonna?
Name and
identify
badge
yourself?
number.
Are you gonna?
At this point, even though it's very clear that the auditor was certainly not trying to steal a police car, which just sounds ridiculous anyway, the tyrannical officers continued to hold him detained for no reason. He was essentially restricted from moving, assaulted, and then pinned down to the ground for doing absolutely nothing wrong or unlawful. What's worse is that the only reason given by the officers to justify their actions was that he looked inside a police car. And in case you didn't catch it, the officers initially had their hands on their firearms before 2 of them went as far as to pull them out. According to Florida's Stop and Frisk Law in Section 901.151 of the 2023 Florida statutes, whenever any law enforcement officer of this state encounters any person under circumstances which reasonably indicate that such person has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a violation of the criminal laws of this state or the criminal ordinances of any municipality or county, the officer may temporarily detain such person for the purpose of ascertaining the identity of the person temporarily detained and the circumstances surrounding the person's presence abroad which led the officer to believe that the person had committed, was committing, or was about to commit a criminal offense. What's especially important is that reasonable suspicion alone isn't enough to initiate an involuntary search of one's car, home, or person. The authority granted to an officer with reasonable suspicion is intentionally limited to scope. It's not unless or until they develop probable cause that they are lawfully allowed to conduct involuntary searches, seizures, or arrests. All of this proves the fact that the officers had not only unlawfully detained the auditor, but also illegally searched or frisked him. Interestingly, there's a law that governs against this exact action. Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. But the situation continued to get worse, as you will now see.
Can I get my recording
No.
back? Oh, you're going to
You
violate my
record
First
there.
Amendment
No,
right.
It's not a violation.
You're not going to let me record this?
No, you recorded
You're
it.
not letting me record this
It's
right
not
now.
recorded. No. Okay.
You're stopping me from. This is prior restraint.
Nope.
This is prior restraint. This is. God, I'm coming after all your attentions. You have no qualified immunity now. You know you're violating my rights right now. Qualified immunity out the door. Be careful with it.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to give you one more time.
Oh no.
I've explained to you. No.
Give me 5 more times.
I've explained to you.
Get this hoodie and mask off me.
I've explained
Can't
to you.
fucking breathe.
I've explained.
Want to see my face and
Yeah, I do.
identify me so bad.
I've explained to you why you're detained for. I've explained to you why you have to have my reasonable articulable suspicion. I've already explained it to you.
Oh.
Okay, you don't have to believe
So
it,
articulate.
but I can articulate it. So either you're going to identify yourself or you're going to go to jail. Those are the 2 options you have.
Really, you're gonna violate my 4th now. Hey, we all okay with this? Can we get a sergeant down here?
Hey,
Nobody's got stripes, right?
Are you going to explain?
Let's get a sergeant down here.
Are you gonna
What?
identify
Oh, no.
yourself? Are you going to identify yourself? No.
Let's get a sergeant down here.
Are you going to identify yourself or no?
I don't think you want to start down here.
Is that a threat? Are you guys
gonna
making threats
identify
now?
yourself Or no?
Are you gonna be?
let's
You
go.
seem smart. You haven't said anything. Really?
Yep.
All right. I'll identify me. I gotta put on the intent to sue anyway.
You can identify yourself.
Bingo.
Okay.
Look me up. Let's see what a fucking criminal I am.
I don't care that you're a
You wanna
criminal.
know what that is?
Yeah.
No.
It's definitely a car key.
Camera.
Yeah, let's go.
Streaming Wi-Fi.
Wait.
Now, this is where we can point out something which proved that all the officers on the scene were corrupt and ignorant. If you paid attention to the footage, you could catch that one of the officers had snatched the auditor's iPhone from his hands when he was being restrained on the ground. This was completely illegal and a blatant abuse of authority. Police officers may not confiscate or demand to view your digital photographs or video without a warrant. As per the ACLU, the Supreme Court has ruled that police may not search your cell phone when they arrest you unless they get a warrant. Although the court did not specifically rule on whether law enforcement may search other electronic devices such as a standalone camera, the ACLU believes that the Constitution broadly prevents warrantless searches of your digital data. It is possible that courts may approve the temporary warrantless seizure of a camera in certain extreme exigent circumstances, such as where necessary to save a life, or where police have a reasonable, good faith belief that doing so is necessary to prevent the destruction of evidence of a crime while they seek a warrant. Judging by this, and the fact that the officers did not have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to lawfully detain or arrest the auditor, his Fourth Amendment right was also being violated at this point. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. What makes this situation worse is that one of the officers was heard giving the auditor two choices: either identify yourself or go to jail. This was a very unprofessional and uneducated way to deal with a public citizen. Note that you are only expected to identify yourself to Florida law enforcement officers, police officers, and sheriff's deputies, not immigration or FBI agents, when you are stopped on suspicion of a crime or a traffic violation. If you don't have identification documents, you may choose to remain silent. So, we've already discussed how no crime was committed, and this was nothing less than an illegal arrest now taking place. The auditor had the right to remain silent and completely refused to comply with the officer's unlawful orders.
Not a Fourth Amendment violation. I have to identify.
Identify me without probable cause, without a crime being committed.
You looked into my car.
Oh my God, is that a crime?
Shouldn't be
Okay,
doing
claim.
that.
Absolutely.
Looking into a car is absolutely a crime.
A police car?
In a high crime area, when you're.
Are you serious? Have
Yeah.
you not watched YouTube ever?
No, we know YouTube. Have a seat.
She doesn't.
Case discussion.
Case discussion.
He's an agitator, but he absolutely committed a bordering crime. I don't know if we want to go forward with it, but we absolutely. I mean, it's.
The whole mask.
I don't care about the mask.
Yeah, but we can charge you for that.
Yeah.
He had it when he was part of it.
Yeah, he saw us here and he wanted to come stir shit up, which is fine. I mean, we have plenty of what I'm calling agent here. He tried to take. Hey,
guys told me back in April.
Nothing in my car.
I'm auditing you guys to find all the fucking tyrants.
guy walking around with a mask.
Let's go.
As we've just seen, the officers were still affixed to their delusional justifications, claiming that looking into a police car was a crime. The fact that the female officer confidently said this goes to show how uneducated some law enforcement officers are. Plus, another officer tried to add more to it by saying that it is a high crime area, which made the auditor appear suspicious. But let's not forget that 1. Suspicion is not a crime, and 2. The auditor literally lived on that street. We've also heard several officers gather together, mute their body cams, and then conspire against the auditor, trying to figure out how they can put him in jail and what charges to proceed with. One of them could be heard bringing up loitering and prowling, which is a crime in Florida that is often charged by law enforcement when someone is in an area and the police think that person is going to commit a burglary or some other crime, but have no actual evidence of any crime. By the end of it, the auditor was officially charged and placed under arrest. In his own words, "I was thrown to the ground, handcuffed, locked in the back of a cop car and taken to jail to be booked. My freedom was stolen from me for 12 hours and I sustained several injuries. I am a law-abiding citizen who was terrorized by the Hollywood, Florida police because of their poor training and fragile egos." The probable cause affidavit shows that the auditor was charged with loitering and prowling, along with resisting an officer and obstruction without violence. The same document shows the arresting officer's statement where it's written that the auditor walked up to a marked police car with his hands in his pockets, a complete lie obviously. The officer stated that he was concerned that the auditor was going to burglarize the police car or commit an act of violence against the officer inside the car. As of the date of this recording, the auditor has filed a lawsuit against the officers. No other updates have been made as of yet. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter.